Hello, everyone. Welcome to Korea from Inside, your go-to channel for all the latest and most heartwarming stories from Korea. Today, we have something truly special for you. We're diving into a moment that has captured hearts everywhere. Hyun been showing his love for his wife in a way that left everyone around them green with envy. Curious to see what happened? Let's find out together, right now. It was just another crisp, early summer afternoon in Seoul. Clouds hanging lazily over the Han River, the air tinged with that peculiar electricity that comes before something unexpected. No one could have predicted that within the walls of a seemingly routine press event, one of the most private A-list stars in Korea would ignite a media firestorm, not with scandal or controversy, but with a moment so tender, so deeply sincere, that even the most seasoned reporters stood frozen. And it all started with a single glance. The calm before the emotional storm. The event was meant to be low-key, a luxury brand gathering at a high-end hotel in Gangnam, attended by industry elite, journalists, influencers, and, of course, celebrities. Among the guests were none other than Hyun Bin and his wife, the beloved actress Sung Ye-jin, the power couple whose love story bloomed from real to real life after the global phenomenon crash landing on you. Though both stars have always kept their personal lives guarded, their appearance together sparked murmurs. They stepped into the marble floor daydream, camera flashes exploded like fireworks. Hyun Bin, dressed in a sharp navy suit, radiated calm charisma. Sung Ye-jin, elegant in a flowing cream dress, walked beside him with effortless grace. Together, they looked like a royalty. But what came next silenced the crowd, and lit the internet on fire. The moment that stopped time. The press conference began routinely, brand introductions, flashes, nods, polite smiles. But as Hyun Bin took to the stage to speak, something shifted. Midway through his address, his gaze drifted to the front row. His eyes locked with Sung Ye-jin's. And then it happened. His voice faltered, not out of nervousness, but as though emotions caught him off guard. A small, rare smile crept onto his face. What followed was a spontaneous, unrehearsed gesture that left everyone breathless. Hyun Bin paused, stepped off the stage, and walked toward his wife. The crowd murmured in disbelief. Whispers swept the room like a rising tide. Then, in front of the flashing lights, in front of the reporters and the cameras, he reached out, gently took Sung Ye-jin's hand, and kissed it. It wasn't a performative kiss for publicity. There was a pause, a stillness in that moment that made it clear, this was not for the cameras. This was raw, real, deeply personal. He whispered something, only she could hear it, and her eyes shimmered, not with surprise, but with emotion. A collective gasp swept the room. Then silence. No one dared speak. Shockwaves across Korea and beyond. Within minutes, the videos and photos hit social media. By the hour, hashtags like #HyunBinYejinLove and #RealLifeRomance trended not just in South Korea, but globally. Fans were swooning. News outlets scrambled to confirm what they had seen. Was this a stage stunt? Was Hyun Bin making a public declaration? Was this a coded message to fans? The answer became clear as interviews trickled in from those present. A stylist at the event recalled, "You could feel it. That was real love." When he looked at her, he looked like a man who would cross time and space just to protect her. Even veteran entertainment reporters, known for their cynicism, confessed they were caught off guard. "I've covered celebrity news for 20 years, one journalist posted. But that wasn't a story. That was poetry in motion, a history written in glances and silence." To understand the weight of that gesture, one must understand Hyun Bin himself. A man of few words, deeply private, and famously composed, even in chaos. His love story with Sung Ye-jin has always been understated, built on mutual respect, not tabloid spectacle. Their journey began quietly on the set of Crash Landing on You, two professionals sharing intense scenes, layered with subtle, unspoken chemistry. Fans speculated. The couple denied. They were just co-stars. Just friends. But behind the scenes, something deeper was blooming, not in grand gestures, but in the way he waited for her between takes, how she laughed more easily when he was nearby, how their characters' love didn't feel acted, it felt lived. By the time they confirmed their relationship publicly, and later announced their marriage, Fans were already invested in a love that seemed destined. But nothing, not their wedding, not magazine interviews, had ever peeled back the curtain as much as that one moment on stage. Behind closed doors, what happened after the event? Sources later revealed that once the cameras were off, Hyun Bin and Son Ye-jin stayed only a few more minutes before quietly leaving through a side entrance. One staff member described the way he held the door for her, not with fanfare, but with the kind of attentiveness that says, "You first, always." Later that night, blurry paparazzi photos captured them walking hand in hand near the Han River. No entourage. No disguises. Just the two of them, bathed in the golden glow of street lamps, talking and laughing like newlyweds on their first date. It was as if the media frenzy didn't exist, as if the world, for them, had shrunk to just two hearts, beating in rhythm. A love that reminds us what we all crave. What made this moment so unforgettable wasn't just the act itself, it was the sincerity. In a world increasingly fueled by curated images and performative affection, Hyun Bin reminded us of something rare. Unfiltered love. The kind of love that doesn't need permission to be shown. Doesn't care if anyone's watching, yet moves everyone who does. Jealousy? Yes. But not the bitter kind. The awestruck, longing kind, the kind that makes people reflect on their own lives and relationships. What if we all had a Hyun Bin moment? A love so evident that it silences a room? The aftermath, why the world can't look away. The days that followed, fans flooded online forums with personal reflections. Some shared stories of quiet love gestures they had once received. Others admitted crying while watching the video. Relationship experts dissected the body language. International media dubbed them Asia's most elegant couple. But perhaps the most powerful response came from a fan who simply wrote, "I didn't know I needed to see that, but now I believe again." In love. In men. In magic. Final thoughts. Hyun Bin didn't plan to make headlines that day. He wasn't giving a performance. But in stepping off that stage and reaching for the hand of the woman he loves, he created a moment that will be etched in the memories of millions. It wasn't a grand proposal. It wasn't a dramatic speech. It was just love, quiet, undeniable, and utterly disarming. And everyone who witnessed it walked away changed. Jealous? Absolutely. But more than that, inspired. When dawn broke over Seoul the next morning, it was as if the entire city had woken from a shared dream. Coffee shops buzzed with conversations about the moment. Radios played soft ballads as DJs read at tweets from fans across the globe. Morning TV shows looped the clip again and again, Hyun Bin stepping off the stage, that kiss on the hand. Almost whispered sentence. And then, like any good mystery, the questions began. What did he say to her? Why now? Was it spontaneous or planned? Is something happening behind the scenes we don't know about? Conspiracy theories spun across forums like wildfire. Some believed he was subtly announcing a pregnancy. Others suggested it was his way of apologizing for an unconfirmed marital dispute, though there's never been any public indication of that. Some even believed the moment was his quiet goodbye, that perhaps he was preparing for military re-enlistment, a secret film project abroad, or even retirement. But those closest to the couple insisted, it wasn't that complicated. It wasn't for us. It was for her. One of Hyun Bin's former managers commented anonymously. That's the kind of man he is. When he loves, it's quiet. But deep. Very deep, inside the private world of Korea's most watched couple. To understand the full weight of this public gesture, you have to peer behind the veil, into the notoriously private world of Hyun Bin and Son Ye-jin. Though both are megastars, live their lives with an almost monk-like discipline when it comes to fame. No scandals, no Instagram drama, no performative shows of affection on reality TV. And that's why this moment mattered so much. Over the years, fans have clung to every tiny detail that might hint at their relationship: matching watches in paparazzi photos, shared vacations in Switzerland, the way they speak about each other in interviews without ever saying too much. They were the embodiment of quiet love, so when that dam finally broke, it wasn't just a wave. It was a flood. Eyes of the world, global reaction and cultural shockwaves. From Tokyo to Los Angeles, from Manila to London, K-drama fans, romantic souls, and everyday people who barely knew the couple were suddenly pulled into the moment. In Brazil, a leading entertainment program aired a full segment on the new standard for modern love. In France, a fashion magazine dubbed Hyun the gentleman of the decade. In Thailand, memes spread comparing local celebrities to the couple, with humorous captions like, "Don't settle for less than a Hyun moment." Fan art exploded online. Animated GIFs of the moment went viral. Some users on X, formerly Twitter, even began organizing what they called #Binjin Challenge, encouraging people to post about acts of love they had received or given, thoughtful gestures, small details, quiet moments. In less than 48 hours, what began as a private action turned into a global emotional movement. Voices from the crowd, first-hand witnesses speak out. A female photographer at the event, identified only as Minutes G, described what she felt in the moment with striking clarity. "I've been shooting celebrity events for over 12 years. I've seen actors flirt, cry, joke, even argue. But what I saw on Hyunbin's face, it wasn't acting. It was reverence, like he saw her as sacred. That shook me. I lowered my camera. I forgot to take the shot." Another eyewitness, an American influencer invited to the event by the brand, live streamed her post-event reaction in tears. "Guys, I can't explain it. It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't planned. It was a man seeing his wife. And the whole world disappeared for him. He wasn't playing to the crowd. He was seeing her. Just her. And now I have standards I didn't even know were possible." Why that gesture cut so deep? So why, in a world where celebrities kiss on red carpets and post selfies in bed, did a simple kiss on the hand cause such a global stir? Because it was real. Because it was rare. We live in a time where affection is often curated, captioned, hashtagged, and sold for likes. But in that moment, Hyun reminded the world that the most powerful acts of love are often the simplest: a hand held, a glance across a room, a word whispered only for the one it's meant for. In the hours after the event, Son Ye-jin remained characteristically silent. She offered no statement, no post, no press appearance. But her silence spoke volumes. One close friend of the actress was quoted in a woman's magazine, saying, "Ye-jin is someone who believes emotions don't need to be shouted." She felt his gesture in her bones. Spoke to her that night. She said, "It was the kind of moment every woman hopes to have once in her life, and I had it, with him." It is said that later that night, the couple shared a quiet dinner at their favorite private restaurant in Gyeongdong. No photographers, fans. Just them. According to staff. Stayed for hours, speaking in low voices, laughing, touching hands across the table, the afterglow of that moment still lingering between them, a symbol of hope in a tired world. In a time where news cycles are dominated by conflict, division, and digital noise, it is perhaps no wonder that people clung so fiercely to this single act of grace. For one fleeting moment, love wasn't abstract or distant. It was real. It stood on a stage, walked down steps, and kissed the hand of the one who mattered most. In doing so, it became something larger than them. It became a mirror, a reminder, a wish, that maybe, somewhere in our lives, we too could be looked at that way. That maybe, even if only once, we could feel that safe, that chosen. The legacy of a moment. Will this story fade in time? Maybe. Headlines will come. Other celebrities will step into the spotlight. World will spin forward. But for those who witnessed it, whether in person or on a glowing screen at 3 a.m., that single gesture will live on. It will be remembered by the stylist who said, "I now know what love looks like." By the teenager who texted their crush for the first time after watching it. By the couple in their 60s who watched the video, held hands, and remembered what it felt like to be young and newly in love. What comes next? Fans now wait with bated breath. Will the couple speak out? Will they appear together again? Will Son Ye-jin post a subtle nod, a thank you, a heart emoji? Or will they remain silent, letting the moment speak for itself? Perhaps that's the real beauty of it. It doesn't need explanation. It doesn't need validation. It exists, complete and untouched. A single kiss on a hand. Moment. A declaration. Not to the world, but to the one who matters most. And that, perhaps, is the most romantic thing of all. And what made it even more powerful was who he is, a man not known for public vulnerability. That's why it felt seismic. That's why it